Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rise and Recreate. So, we are doing something a bit different today. We have Tara back, who was our very first guest on the podcast. And if you listen to that podcast, you know she went from being a social worker and now she does energy healing work. And today we are going to do an energy healing on me. And one of my intentions this year was to feel safe in vulnerability. And so we are putting that to the test for you guys to all witness not only what a healing session with her looks like, but also what to expect, how to see this in real time, what comes out for people to work on. And hopefully this helps you to take a step in your own healing journey as well. So, all right. Tara, I'm going to pass it over to you and we'll see what comes through.
We will see what comes through. So, with that, I just have to say kudos to you because vulnerability is not easy to step into. Um, and what's going to come through because source energy knows who this is for. So if you feel called to call the essences in, and it'll make more sense when I start. Anyone who's listening, then you can absolutely do that because when we heal, it always ripples out. And so when I do things like this more in the larger group, there's lots that it will affect. So, yeah. So kudos to you. And this is the way I start. Is there anything that you are currently working on? Anything that you're going through? Anything you just feel you want to tell me? And that usually guides me.
Okay. So. Right now, I'd say the biggest thing is feeling comfortable and showing up. So exactly what I'm doing right now, feeling the fear of putting myself out there online and feeling that fear and doing it anyways. And that's been one heck of a journey. So with that, there also comes the belief of, I am capable of leading a movement and helping people realize they can recreate their life and really stepping into almost that leadership position. Those are the two things that I'm working on right now.
Okay, perfect. So what came out first is a flower essence, which is what I mainly work with. I do work with the gems and the acupressure points, but mainly that. And I love that you said, because the way the session works is your soul speaks to me. So what you said, working on the belief, we'll look at that after. Then that'll be like step 2. But the way the flower essences come, and this is for you and everyone else, they come under all of these soul lessons, and it's just a whole list of little words. And the one it came up under is surrender. So what's your feelings on surrender with what you're saying about what you're going through?
Yeah, so this entire year for me has been a surrender experiment. I left my very high-paying tech sales job in January. I exploded. I burned that bridge to the ground, and I jumped headfirst into the unknown. And with that comes a lot of surrender that my heart and my soul are leading me in the right direction. Even right now, my job ends November 4th, and I do not know what is next. I'm surrendering and I'm trusting that the path will unfold and I will end up where I'm meant to end up.
And you absolutely will. And that's such a hard surrender is something. I know from my journey at the beginning, it was like more of a swear word than anything else. It was like, I don't want to surrender. I don't want to. But it's that giving up control. And there's so much around that conditioning around surrendering means giving up, means like we think of it as a weakness. But to surrender into the universe and surrender that control takes way more strength than it does to fight it. And so it is one of the most challenging things. And every time, I don't know if I said this on the podcast, but every time the universe, I've been like, okay, I surrendered. And then it's like, I'm like, I have to be done now. I've surrendered everything I can. And it's like, no. And I'm like, okay, there's more. and then I go through the same kind of things again. But what came up is the flower essence of oak, which is struggling beyond limits, not knowing when to surrender. Does that resonate?
Yeah, so I mean, I that was me. I tried to control every step I was taking through creating, like, almost anxiety in my mind of, like, "What am I gonna do next?" And I would think so deeply on what am I gonna do next, but from a level of fear, not from a level
Hmm.
of I'm excited for what's gonna happen, from a controlling level of fear of I need to control where I'm going next, what's gonna happen, and all that did was literally cause me anxiety and take me right out of the present moment. So this year I've really been playing with instead of what can I control next, I'm coming at it from a level of freedom almost, where it's like, what can I create next? What can happen for me next? So that's been a huge, huge piece of my journey this year is creating the future
Absolutely.
from abundance rather than fear.
Excellent. I love that. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll read through what this flower essence means, and this ties into what that belief is. So I think that's why they came out together. Um, because there's still probably that belief, kind of that core belief, and we'll see what comes out though. The positive qualities, so this is what oak essence helps with, is balance, strength, accepting limits, knowing when to surrender. The patterns of imbalance are iron willed, inflexible, overstriving beyond one's limits, taking on more than one can inwardly sustain. Oak addresses many positive masculine soul traits of endurance, strength, and perseverance. These are the admirable qualities of the Mars like hero, but they become a source of illness and dysfunction when they are not balanced with the Venetian grace and gentle surrender. The oak personality presses the limits to endurance. Such persons are capable of enormous achievement. They are able to truly serve and help others because of their tremendous wellspring of willpower. However, this very strength can also become too rigid. The unrelenting demands and expectations which they have for themselves eventually take a toll on their physical health and inner happiness of the soul, until finally the individual is forced by circumstances to acknowledge that he or she is not all powerful. Oak flower essence teaches such persons the positive attributes of surrender and acceptance of limitations. Through oak, the natural strong capacities of the soul are balanced with the inner feminine, which learns to yield and to receive help from others when necessary.
Hmm.
Does that resonate? Yeah. And I feel like for you, especially because I said you brought up the belief system thing, this is more not a huge aha for you, but it's more of bringing that masculine and feminine energies together within you. So our society conditions us in a very wounded masculine way of that push, do, that iron willed, inflexible, go, go, go. I have to do. Um, which is very much in contrary to our divine feminine energy, which is flow and surrender and trust and all of that. And so for most people right now, those two are trying to work together and they can't because the wounded masculine, um, I don't know the word, caps the divine feminine energy because it's too aggressive. It's too much in that doing, that iron willed. And so as the divine feminine rises in us, we have to clear out that wounded masculine, which is a societal conditioned belief. So does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So to bring this essence in and do the healing, and then we'll do a belief system change, just take a deep breath. And then you just repeat after me. I ask for the flower essence of oak
I ask for the flower essence of oak
to enter my energy fields,
to enter my energy field,
energy body,
energy body,
and physical consciousness
and physical consciousness
with the help of the divine.
with the help of the divine.
I ask for the flower essence of oak
I ask for the flower essence of oak
to assist me with
to assist me with
balanced strength
balance, strength,
and balancing my inner feminine self
and balancing my inner feminine self
so that I learn
so that I learn
to receive help from others when necessary.
to receive help from others when necessary.
I ask for the flower essence of oak
I ask for the flower essence of oak
to manifest,
to manifest,
to integrate.
to integrate.
And then are you feeling that energy anywhere? It can be hot, cold, waves, tingles.
Yeah, I feel it in my legs and like in the lower half of my body as like a vibration.
Okay. So you can put your hands wherever you want, on your legs, wherever it feels right. And then just say, and stabilize. And
And
then just
stabilize.
breathe and let it move how it wants to move. How's that?
Wonderful.
Good. Okay. So I feel like it's the belief system that needs to go now. So it's definitely what you've been working on. But sometimes it feels like an uphill battle because we have a belief system that's programmed into our system, our whole body system. And this one is definitely, like I said, that wounded masculine about push, be strong, don't surrender, keep going, don't ask for help, don't anything. It's all that don't be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you okay with releasing that belief?
Yeah. So, what's interesting for everyone listening and how wild this is I'm going to do a whole podcast on this, but I was robbed essentially in a crazy way in Bolivia just a few months ago. And through that robbery, I started to accept help from other people because I was left with no phone, no money, a whole thing. And I realized how much my hyper independence has been holding me back in my life. And granted, this was a crazy experience to crack that open, but accepting help from others has been something that I have rejected my whole life. And I realized that by rejecting help from other people, I was actually taking joy away from them because maybe it brought them joy to help me. So this is really cool that this is where this healing is going.
Well, and that's why, because it wasn't one that when I was calling it in, I'm guided and to what to ask to assist with. And I was definitely told to do that last sentence. And it's funny because when I said it, I was like, interesting. And so there we go.
Yes.
I don't know why, but I just do what I'm guided.
Yeah. It made my heart go boop.
And that's beautiful. And as much as I'm sure that was a very traumatic for you, your experience, but that was your invitation into, oh, I can accept help from others. And I feel like I just want to also say, I'm not sure if you're aware, but that over independence and that energy is very much a trauma based response. It's very much feeling like you were never supported in life. And so, and we'll see if something else comes up, but that I have to do it on my own because I can't rely on anyone else, which is very, very typical of empaths, um, and sensitive people. And so I'm going to guess that's you too. But yeah. And so it's a very deeply programmed in us because it's the only way we felt safe. And so we're going to release that right now. Ready?
Ready.
Okay, so just take a deep breath. And I more so just channel this so it maybe a little bit slower. I ask to release
I ask to release
all beliefs,
all beliefs,
patterns,
patterns,
wounds,
wounds,
and cycling thoughts
and cycling thoughts
that have me feeling
that had me feeling
like I have to do it on my own.
like I have to do it on my own.
Out of my masculine
Out of my masculine
energy body,
energy body,
energy field,
energy field,
and physical consciousness
and physical consciousness
in all four aspects,
in all four aspects,
in all seven directions,
in all seven directions,
with the help of the divine.
with the help of the divine.
And then do you feel that moving?
Mm-hmm.
Where is it moving from for you?
Here.
Yep. Okay, so just breathe and let that release how it wants to release. Ooh, that was a good release. How was that?
Great. It felt like just a lot of heavy, dense energy that,
Released.
yeah, just poofed.
Yeah. So we're going to release it in the feminine. It feels like it was more strongly in the masculine because, like I said, that is that wounded masculine culturally conditioned belief in us. But there's probably some in the feminine as well. So we're going to release it in the feminine. I asked to release
I ask to release
all beliefs,
all beliefs,
patterns,
patterns,
wounds,
wounds,
and anything that has me feeling
and anything that has me feeling
like I can't reach out for support
like I can't reach out for support
and that I have to do it on my own.
and that I have to do it on my own.
Out of my feminine
Out of my feminine
energy body,
energy body,
energy field,
energy field,
and physical consciousness
and physical consciousness
in all four aspects,
in all four aspects,
in all seven directions,
in all seven directions,
with the help of the divine.
with the help of the divine.
I ask that this be released now,
I ask that this be released now,
and I give it up to the light.
and I give it up to the light.
Is that releasing from that side too?
Yeah, this one was much more gentle. Like it just felt like it was more here, almost like
Mm,
my voice of asking for help, and it just felt much lighter. And so it took a little longer to release. Like this was so heavy that I felt like when I released it, it just was like whoosh. And this one was more of just this like gentle flow of release.
nice. I love that
Mm.
because that's exactly the difference between the masculine and feminine energy. And there is definitely divine masculine energy. And that's what helps when both divines rise together. The divine masculine supports and lifts the feminine up so that she can do what she needs to do. Um, but when it's wounded, it's like squashes it. I just keep getting the visual of like, and she's trying to rise, and it's like, no, you can't. But when they work together, there's this beautiful, she rises and he lifts her up.
Ooh, I
But that
feel that.
almost made me cry.
Yeah. I the tears are flowing over here too.
It happens. So because we unplug that, it can feel very um kind of wobbly. And so we need to program you with a new belief. And so what are you feeling? I feel like what's coming through is because you were talking about vulnerability. I feel like something about I embrace my vulnerability, or I love my vulnerability, or I allow myself to step into vulnerability,
Ooh,
or
I like that one.
vulnerability is my strength.
Yeah. I think maybe I allow myself to step into vulnerability feels good.
Okay. So we will reprogram you with that. So again, it's just a repeat after me.
Okay.
So I asked to integrate
I ask to integrate
this new belief system.
this new belief system.
I allow myself to step into my vulnerability
I allow myself to step into my vulnerability
as vulnerability is my strength,
as vulnerability is my strength
into my
into my
masculine and feminine
masculine and feminine
energy body,
energy body,
energy field,
energy field,
and physical consciousness
and physical consciousness
in all four aspects,
in all four aspects,
in all seven directions,
in all seven directions,
with the help of the divine.
with the help of the divine.
I allow myself to embrace my vulnerability.
I allow myself to embrace my vulnerability.
Vulnerability is my strength.
Vulnerability is my strength.
And so it is.
And so it is.
How was that?
Good. It's one of those things where honestly it feels scary to say, but there's such a deep, deep knowing that it's just so true. And that being willing to be seen at the depths of my soul is just going to unlock so many wonderful things in my life.
Absolutely. And it's so beautiful that you're doing this and doing this. You've been called, like you said, to step into that leadership role because vulnerability is definitely our strength.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that feeling it in your depths because that's your truth. That's what
Mhm.
you know is true. All the other stuff that we unplugged you from,
Mhm.
it's conditioned crap. I
Yeah. Yeah.
have to watch my voice, I know, or what I
That's
say,
okay.
I know.
No, I'm all for it. I
Okay. Because yeah, well, it comes out the way it's going to come out, but I had to, I was like, oh, I don't know if I can swear.
no, we can swear. Swearing is great.
Okay, good. Um, so how are you feeling? Are you good?
I'm good. And a thought that just came up to me, and
Hmm.
so many people complain how they don't like small talk, right? And oh, like I want to have conversation with depth with people. And the best way to have conversations of depth with people is to feel safe being vulnerable and opening yourself up to what are your true thoughts and what are your true beliefs, and having conversations from there. And that's really hard to do unless you do feel safe being seen.
Well, and energetically too, if you're open, that helps other people open. And when we step into that, so even like you said, those basic conversations, if you have this kind of energy,
Yeah.
they're not going to open to you
No.
because that's there because you have that block. And so the more which is when we step into more of that heart space about that vulnerability, then energetically we feel and we exude an energy of you're welcome to open up, which triggers some people and some people don't like that,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine. That's their trigger. But it opens that up and allows us to be in that space where we just exude the energy of I'm open.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a real conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so the gems. Do you know much about gems?
I love them, but I love the way they feel, but I wouldn't say I know like what each one specifically stands for other than just a couple.
Okay. So the gem essences are like the flower essences, so I work with them energetically. And Mookite is the one that came up. So I can tell you what, I won't read all of it because it's lots of stuff.
Mhm.
But the things that are jumping out at me are promoting a positive and peaceful mindset, feelings of self esteem and self confidence and self worth, and the affirmation of I am worthy of love, happiness, and health.
Mm,
Does that resonate for you?
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let's call it in for that.
Okay.
I asked for the gem essence
I asked for the gem essence
of Mookite
of Mookite,
and Mookite Jasper
Mookite Jasper,
to enter my energy fields,
to enter my energy field,
energy body,
energy body,
and physical consciousness
and physical consciousness
with the help of the divine.
with the help of the divine.
I ask for the gem essence of Mookite Jasper
I asked for the gem essence of Mookite Jasper
to assist me with
to assist me with
knowing that I am worthy of love,
knowing that I am worthy of love,
happiness, and health,
happiness, and health,
and to assist me with
and to assist me with
new ideas, creativity, and visions,
new ideas, creativity, and visions,
promoting grounding.
promoting grounding.
So I receive the nourishing energy from Mother Earth
So I receive the nourishing energy from Mother Earth
and to promote positive, peaceful mindset
and to promote positive, peaceful mindset
and healthy digestion.
and healthy digestion.
I ask for the gem essence of Mookite Jasper
I ask for the gem essence of Mookite Jasper
to manifest,
to manifest,
to integrate.
to integrate.
And then are you feeling that anywhere?
Like here, like in my shoulders, there was like a tightening of my shoulders.
Okay. So you can put your hands there if it feels comfortable. If not, the temple is like the basic one, and that just anchors in your body. And then just and stabilize and let that move how it wants to move.
And stabilize.
Did it release?
Yes.
So part of that programming that you just plugged or the we unplugged you from is that worthiness thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another layer of it is that I have to do to be worthy,
Mm-hmm.
which again ties into the surrender because the divine energies that surrender and the more you step into surrender, the more you know it's not about doing anything. It's about being. And it's about just being you and being authentic, being vulnerable, being you is enough.
Yeah.
And so a lot of that striving and pushing and doing comes from that I'm not enough, that core kind of I'm not enough, I'm not whatever the word is, I'm not worthy, I'm not strong enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not any of enough.
Mm-hmm.
Um And so we feel like we have to do things to prove that we're worthy, to
Hmm.
prove that we are enough, to prove all of that. And so when we unplug from that, which what I got with the jam, why I added some more in there was I was led to the creativity. Like I feel this is gonna open you up creatively and it's gonna open you up from a new space rather than from a doing space, but more of just allowing it to come, how it's gonna come. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah. It makes so much sense. And something that came up for me, it's so wild. Just our beliefs that we have, how so much of them do have a root in unworthiness. And I thought for the longest time, I was in hospitality for a long time. And I had this belief that I wouldn't like find a partner that I desire because they would judge me for the career I had. And so then I was like, if I just have a different career and I have a respectable career and I really work really hard and prove that I'm capable of having a career, which I did do. I got into the corporate world thinking that like my job is what would make me attractive to another person. Where did that come from? And why did I latch onto that belief? Who knows? But I definitely latched onto that belief. And this year, I've thrown all of that out the window. I've really done a lot of belief work and recognizing what was I thinking about myself at different stages of my life, really
Hmm.
becoming this like scientist of my own life and looking back through my past to see what was I believing about myself at every stage and why did I believe that? And it definitely was a worthiness thing. I didn't feel like just me who I am Raechel was worthy of this love that I was calling in because I didn't have the right job. Like, what is that?
But that is so our cultural conditioning.
Yeah.
Because our jobs, what's the first thing we say to people talking about small talk?
Oh, what do you
What do
do
you
for work?
do? Yeah. And so it and that's how our society, that's how our wounded masculine has taught us in our society that the only way we have power is by status,
Yeah.
is by our careers. And that it's always, which feeds that not enough belief so
Mhm.
much.
So much.
Um, and it pushes us to feel not enough at every stage of our life. So even if you are like top CEO or whatever, there's still, I got to keep here, I got to push higher, I got to keep doing, doing, doing. And it's never about that. It's about who you are.
Yeah.
It's about being who you are.
Yeah.
And that's what we're moving from with like the awakening, the ascension and everything is we are dropping that wounded masculine,
Mhm.
which we can see in the exterior right now. It's
Yeah.
not going so well and people are having to release that
Yeah.
and come back to who they truly are, which feels very uncomfortable. Because
Mhm.
especially when your whole life you've thought you're not worthy and you strive for it. Because even I'm sure you probably noticed on your journey that you would set that, okay, well, if I get a better job, then I'll be worthy. So then you hit that, and then it's like, oh, no, we need to do, you have to be now, like top of the company, or you have to be in the top 10, or it always changes because that's where our ego's conditioned, and that not enough is conditioned. There's always another step.
Yeah.
And then you never ever reach what is supposedly enough.
Yeah. But it was all
And
external things, It wasn't ever like, oh, when I get to this place, I'm going to really learn how to cultivate peace and joy and belief and happiness inside of me. It was like, no, okay, now I'm really used to making a lot of money. So now I want to make even more money so that I can have this and I can have a bigger house and I can have a nicer car. And you know what? Maybe I'll find like a different partner because now I'm at this level. And when I released all of that shit and I was like, wait a second, this isn't what any of this is about. When I was chasing that, I felt so disconnected from myself. I didn't feel that inner peace and joy and happiness. And this year, when I released all of that, I just did whatever the fuck I wanted to do without worrying about what everybody was going to think about me. This whole year was just about finding that inner peace and stillness and cultivating that joy within. And I'm so happy.
it really is. And it's so culturally conditioned in us to look outside of ourselves.
Hmm.
And, I mean, every advertisement. and it is pounded into us.
Yes, it is.
So it is, you see the messages, even if you're not paying attention, the messages are out there like thousands of million times a day. And like I said, even with you were talking about like connecting with people in a deeper way.
Mhm.
Stop asking what people do. Start saying what brings you joy, what makes you
Yeah.
happy. And then, well, first of all, watch their faces go because they don't know how to answer that. And they're like, I don't know what to say. But that's where we start doing things like that because that's taking us out of that. Okay, I need to show who I am because of my status, my power,
Mhm.
and brings you back to that feeling state of what brings you joy, what
Mhm.
makes you happy, because that's the important question. Because really, I don't care what you do. It
Nope.
doesn't matter to me if you're a CEO or if you're unemployed. What matters to me is that you are connected to your soul
Mhm.
and that you are connected to yourself and your truth and that you feel good within that. And so, yeah,
Yeah. So true.
interesting how that all comes up. So how are you doing?
I'm great. I am
Okay,
great.
good. So the next thing that came up is a flower essence, and it came up under awakeness. I feel like there's some new stuff coming for you. It's under chestnut bud is the flower essence, and then I'll read what that one says. Do you have any questions so far? Because I can look up while I talk.
No.
Okay. So the positive qualities are the ability to cultivate life wisdom, understanding the laws of karma, intelligence derived from life experiences. The patterns of imbalance are poor observation of one's experiences, failure to learn life lessons, repeating the same mistakes. Three of the chestnut remedies, chestnut bud, red chestnut, and white chestnut, address obsessive compulsive behavior in the personality. Chestnut bud is used to help break free of overly repetitive and habitual patterns, which retards the soul's full development. It is indicated where there is a constant repetition of life experiences without the ability of the soul to glean wisdom and insight. Chestnut bud particularly stimulates the cognitive capacities so that the individual is able to grasp more completely and more rapidly the essential nature of the experience at hand and learn the appropriate lessons. In this way, the individual is freed from the compulsive need to repeat mistakes and recreate regressive patterns. This remedy is obviously helpful in many learning situations and is also useful in a broader way when the soul needs to break through deeply resistant karmic patterns.
Mhm.
Does something come up with that? And if you don't want to share, that's completely
I'm
fine.
happy to share. So the only thing, so when I was thinking of like obsessive compulsive, I was like, that's not me. There's not really anything that I haven't, that I feel a need to do. But when it comes to like breaking old patterns and repeating some stuff, and it's so interesting right now that, okay, so alcohol. All of the crazy shit I've done in my life and the biggest mistakes, the most trouble I've gotten into, alcohol's been the basis of all of it. And all of the things that I would say, I don't hold regrets, but I would say if there was things I did in my life that maybe I would have regret attached to, it was things I did when I was under the influence of good old alcohol. And just a couple of days ago, I decided to release alcohol for this quarter. I don't want to say release it forever because I'm not going to make a big giant life decision because that feels too big. But I was like, let's just see what it feels like releasing alcohol from my body for this quarter. I'm 36. I've been drinking since I was 15. And when I was thinking about it, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what it's like to have like consecutive months without having some kind of drink. Um, So that would be the thing that I am releasing this quarter, and I think that's what this is tied to for sure.
Okay, that makes sense. Um, so this will just help with that. And again, alcohol is definitely that self-medicating. It's a way to self-medicate, like we talked about with that trauma response. So it's a way to, like I said, I feel you're sensitive, like in an empath kind of way.
Mm.
And that's a way to calm, I guess, what's
Yeah.
kind of going on around you. Because if you get to a point where you just need to self medicate, is the best way to say it. Like you just need to breathe. And that's, yeah.
Well,
So
that
a
and
lot.
for me, it was always like I am very social and I pick up on the energy of everybody, right? So if I'm in a group
Yeah.
of like heavy drinkers, I'm right there with you because I want to be a part of the fun. And so forever that was so tied to my identity of like a fun fun party girl who was like the life of the party. And it was very much so just like, oh, well, everybody's doing it. I want to do it too. And I would just always overdo it.
Yeah. It's, yeah. Okay. So we'll call Chestnut Butt in and see how you feel.
Okay.
I definitely got that it was, um, like recreate regressive patterns was the part that jumped out at me. Um, and to break through deeply resistant karmic patterns, but we'll see what else comes.
Okay.
Okay. I asked for the flower essence of chestnut bud
I ask for the flower essence of chestnut bud
to enter my energy fields,
to enter my energy fields,
energy body,
energy body,
and physical consciousness
and physical consciousness
with the help of the divine.
with the help of the divine.
I asked for the flower essence of chestnut bud
I ask for the flower essence of chestnut bud
to assist me with
to assist me with
releasing regressive patterns
releasing regressive patterns
and learning the appropriate lessons
and learning the appropriate lessons
so I can cultivate life wisdom.
so I can cultivate life wisdom.
I asked for the flower essence of chestnut bud
I ask for the flower essence of chestnut bud
to manifest,
to manifest,
to integrate.
to integrate.
And then are you feeling that anywhere?
It's definitely much lower, like down towards like my root chakra.
Okay. And so if you can put your hands there or your temples is just a basic one. And stabilize.
And stabilize.
How was that?
Good. This is so interesting though, because nothing has been as heavy as that one that released from my chest. Like that, I felt that on such a deep, deep, deep level. And so after experiencing how deep that it was for me, the rest, even though I feel it, it's not, it's just like it's so much lighter.
Well, and I think too, because you have obviously been on your awakening and doing your work,
Oh, yeah.
um, that these are, I like to call them like dust bunnies. They're kind of like within our energy field and they're kind of hanging on, but they're not really like big, holy shit, aha moments. But
Yeah.
it's like they're kind of programs that are running underneath, like in the background. And it's like, I can't totally, it doesn't really resonate with me anymore, but I can't totally let it go,
Mhm.
or it's that kind of things. And so I feel like that's what kind of came up for you in this one. But definitely that releasing the beliefs is a huge one because
Yeah.
that's so heavy within us.
Well, yeah. And the worthiness aspect too, that all came, I wanted to fit in. Right? And when everybody else is doing it, you're like, oh, well, I want to do it too. And so there was definitely a big aspect of, will I be the outcast if I'm the one hanging out with everyone and I'm not partaking? And now, I mean, I have my employee party tonight, so it's like everybody I work with going, and I am actually completely fine going and not drinking. It's such a huge shift And it's been challenging. I mean, there's some thoughts in my head for sure of, can you do it? Are you going to
Absolutely.
be able to do it? Are you going to be able to go to that party and not have a drink? But deep down inside, I know I am. And I also can just, I already feel just so much more clear not having it in my system. So I'm really excited to see how this quarter goes from releasing that
Excellent.
old pattern. Yeah.
I think because you felt it in your root chakra is definitely tied to that art like feeling of safety. And so like we talked about with the self-medicating with the alcohol, that's where it's clearing out from because that had you feeling safe. It fed the not enough belief and the worthiness and everything else. Because that's the fitting in part. And
Yeah.
so it's just coming back to so I would suggest tonight, if it ever comes up that you really feel you want to, is just kind of affirm to yourself that I'm safe in my body. I'm safe in who I am. I know who I am. I'm safe in that. Because that's definitely the root of it is that not feeling like you fit in, not feeling like you're enough, that not worthiness thing. And so this will help with that.
Right. The belonging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all right. I don't have anything else for you. So that was a soul alignment. That was connecting to your soul and whatever kind of came up. Um I feel like yeah, it all what kind of the summary of it if I had to give one was what's coming in for you is more of that divine feminine, that surrender, that flow, that being with that energy. But again, she can't rise in a wounded masculine
Mhm.
way. And so to clear out that and clear out that not enough and all of that so that she can rise more. And I do feel like, especially with the gem essence, because I was really drawn to the creativity, that this is just going to open you up to more of that being in flow and more of that creativity and open you up more to your creative forces because again you can't you can't be in a creative space if you are guarding what's coming through.
Yeah.
And so to truly be creative is that free space, is that to be open, to be free, to allow what comes in. So I really feel that for you, it was just more of that divine feminine coming in, which is requiring you to release the wounded masculine
Mhm.
because they all work together. And so you have to release the wounded masculine. You don't have to release the wounded masculine so that the divine masculine can rise because divine feminine needs divine masculine support still, but it can't do it. Like you can't have divine and wounded working together because they don't work well together. They don't play nice.
I would love, if you don't mind, I think it would be really helpful for people to hear just the characteristic differences between the wounded masculine and the divine masculine and the wounded feminine and the divine feminine. What are the characteristics of the wounded versus the divine?
Okay. Sure. I can try. Um so we'll start with wounded masculine because that's the easiest. Take
Yeah.
a look outside. That is, our society is based on wounded masculine beliefs. It's based on that power over, it's based on being aggressive, it's based on power comes from status, comes from money, comes from exterior. It's all of that push. It's definitely the core of like we talked about that not enough, that unworthiness, because it's always pushing, it's always striving, it's always yeah, it's just a very push energy. And that comes, like I said, our society is built on that.
Hmm.
Um, the divine masculine, a little more uncommon. There's very few divine masculines. Um, So, the divine masculine is definitely like the support. That's the way I see it for the divine feminine. She leads with her intuition, her guidance, her knowing, her intuition is pretty much it. And he supports. So he's the active part of us, but his action comes from inspiration not from trying to prove worthiness. So that's why I say he's more of like the supporting. So she sparks the ideas of the divine feminine within us because she's tuned into intuition, into God source energy, into Mother Earth, and into all of that flow of life, that surrender that we talked about. And so she's very good at creating, she's very good at flowing, she's very good at being in tune, but the divine masculine in us is the one that does the action. So it's great if you are in tune and you have all these great ideas, but you need the divine masculine within you to do the action. And so
Mhm.
that's where he comes in. That's why I say he's more of the supporting, because he does more of that. He provides the protection so she can, and I don't mean in a, so within us, if we're talking within us, because we all have it within us,
Mhm.
he would be protection in the fact that he's the one that stands up. He's the one that um I don't know how to say it best, but like he's the one that will come out fighting if someone comes at you or something like that. And not in an aggressive way necessarily, but like back off. She's enough, like or something like that. I don't know if I make that clear, but
Right. Almost like he's the one who helps set your boundaries too,
yep,
like
exactly. Thank you. That's a great way of putting it. He will be the one that enforces your boundaries.
yeah.
And again, it doesn't have to be from an aggressive way, but no, that's not what, like no. And even energetically, he is her protector and provider.
Mhm.
Um and he's more of that action oriented, but all led by her first.
Mhm.
And that's why the divine feminine is rising within us, because that has to be there first, stronger, so that, yeah. Does that make sense?
It
And
does.
then the wounded feminine, do you want me to go into that one too?
Yeah.
So this is not going to be popular, but wounded feminine is feminists, is very much that gossipy competition. I have to be better than, and that's how the not enough shows up in the wounded feminine.
Mhm.
Is That's why they gossip. That's why they, um, yeah, try to gain attention in from the exterior. All of those things. It's very much exterior focused. It's very much a lot of that trauma response that we talked about, being overly independent.
Mhm.
Because again, within ourselves, we need both. You can't just be feminine. You can't just be masculine. We all have both energies and they both need to work together. And that's why I say the feminist, because that's that I don't need it. And it's that masculine in a feminine way, I guess is the
Yeah.
best way to say it. Um, and so it's that it very much a lot of the wounded feminine within our society too is that competition thing, is they always feel like they're in competition. So that's why they degrade others. That's why they pick on others. That's why they compare,
Mhm.
comparison, and all of that. Divine feminine is strong and secure in her power because she's connected. She's a channel of light, pretty much is the best way to say it. And
Mhm.
she's based all in intuition and flowing with life rather than against it.
Yeah. A common theme that I've just picked up on between the wounded of both masculine and feminine is this idea of separation, you
Hmm.
know? I'm either better than this person, or I need to prove myself, or I'm in competition with this person, or I control this other person through my own power. And it's this idea that we're all separate. Whereas when we're in our divine, we realize that we are all one and everything can coexist in a beautiful way. Um, Unite.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because at the bottom or at the core of competition and all of that, anything is trying to prove our power outside.
Hmm.
But when we plug into our power inside, there's no need. I
Mm-mm.
don't need people to know I'm powerful. I exude who I am,
Right.
and I don't need to prove it. I don't need to find it somewhere else because I'm tapped in. I'm plugged in to the
Plugged
power
in.
source. And so you lose that need to be competitive or to compare because you already feel fulfilled within.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, this has been incredible. And I hope for those of you listening that you were able to connect and find a piece of that inside of yourself. I think, we talked about some things that are pretty common among women, the need for control, control of our future and what happens around us, the ability to release in that hyper independence and really feels safe and receiving from other people, and knowing that you are worthy of receiving from other people is a huge one. To release the beliefs that you have to do it all yourself, to show up and feel safe in your vulnerability because you don't know where it will lead you. I mean, just by me starting this podcast, the people I've been introduced to have already changed my life in such profound ways. I'm so grateful that Tara wanted to do this and show up and really just allow you guys to enter her world in real time by witnessing, what happens when we tap into ourselves and we allow these old belief systems to show up and be released from our body. I mean, truly, the energy that I felt released today was profound, and I know it will drastically improve my life in ways that I'm probably not even aware of yet. So, Tara, thank you so incredibly much. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we close this out?
I just want to say thank you for allowing yourself to be vulnerable, for taking that risk. I know I could feel it. And I mean, you faced your fears,
Yeah.
and I could feel that. And so good for you. It's not easy to put yourself in that position. And that's why you're a leader. That's why you're feeling that leadership call to you. I want to say too, because one of them came out your throat, when we release the feminine,
Mhm.
that's you stepping more into your mission and that's your leadership.
Here we go.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Let's go, world.
Yeah. So it was beautiful experience. Thank you for allowing me to do this and allow me to share this. I know what I do is not typical, which is why, but it's so beneficial.
Mhm.
And so that was a soul alignment. And I just go as we did. I don't know what's going to come. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know yeah, whatever is going to happen is going to happen. Every session is different and everything that comes through is different. So,
Yes, and I
but
would love
that's your
for you
soul
guys.
speaking.
Yes, I would love for everyone to experience this for theirself. Of course, you can do it in the privacy of your own home. There's no need for you to be on camera. And just really, see what comes up for you. The best way we move forward is to turn inward and see, what's going on inside of us. And so I'll definitely put the link to book a session for yourself in the show notes. And I really, truly hope that you experience this for yourself, because you can tap into what I experienced today, but there are probably a million different things going on inside of you that are just waiting to be released so you can step into the next version of yourself and truly recreate your life, because we all have the power to do that at any moment we choose. And this is such a beautiful first step in your journey to having that path unfold for you. So thank you guys for listening.
Thank you.